morning. I have to thank Jack. He puts together all of the readings and the videos and everything with no input from me as the speaker. And every time I come here and he does that, I have a whole nother sermon topic in my head by the time I get to this point. So I'm going to stay on track with what I'm presenting here today, but just know there's more stuff churning up in the back of my head already. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I did. I ate too much. I slept too much, but that's the way it's supposed to go. Thanksgiving to me is one of the best holidays that we have because it's one of the most chill holidays that we get. There's Arbor Day, but if you're going to plant a tree, you have to dig a hole. President's Day is really low-key, but there isn't a feast that goes with that. So Thanksgiving to me is definitely one of the best holidays. You don't need a massive amount of decorating. You don't have to drag out any seasonal attire. You don't have to spend weeks shopping and wrapping and shipping gifts. You don't have to conspire with your children or your spouse or your coworkers with Secret Santa or any other secrets about presents. And as far as Thanksgiving goes, I'm not saying there's no effort involved. Cleaning the house or company in my house is a big job. And cooking a meal, if you're hosting, is not a small chore either. But you can ask for help. You can ask Uncle Bob to bring the rolls and Cousin Sarah to make the dessert. And Thanksgiving for me is the first feast day of what I call eating season. Eating season starts with Halloween because you get all the candy. It progresses through Thanksgiving and includes all of the Christmas, Hanukkah, and pagan-related festivities leading up to Christmas. Then you have Christmas itself, you have your New Year celebrations, and eating season comes to a quiet end with Valentine's Day, which for me always means a lot of chocolate. But historically speaking, this is actually the exact opposite of what our ancestors experienced. The shorter days, the cooler weather, were the drivers for working hard while the weather was good. The inevitable seasonal darkness provided the impetus to plant and harvest the grain, to raise and store the root vegetables, and to fatten the calves and lambs to ensure that there was enough food to last through fall and winter. And here we are now. We've gotten so good at building up our larders that we now have eating season. It is a significant achievement of modern man. This is the first time in the history of humankind that having too much food is more of a problem than not having enough food. Think about the last time you heard a famine occurring. That's not much of a modern day thing. Even just a few hundred years ago, eating 3 meals a day was not a common practice. And today it's estimated that 30 to 40% of food is wasted. It's thrown away. It goes to the landfill. That works out to about a pound per person per day.
Wow.
I like to think I'm doing better than that, but I also know that my chickens in the backyard get a whole lot of old vegetables that I bought with the best of intentions of eating myself. But it's not just food that we're throwing away. Depending on whose research you consult, the average American throws away between 4.5 and 6 pounds of trash every day. 1,600 or more pounds a year. That's a lot of garbage. I know many of us who take stewardship of our natural world seriously, 7 principle, are far below that average. I can also tell you, though, that during the pandemic, when Jacksonville and Duval County, we had serious problems with trash pickup. They couldn't hire enough people to drive the garbage trucks, and we routinely missed pickup days. It didn't take long before my family became acutely aware of how much trash we made. If we missed 1 week of pickup, they come every Monday at our house. If we missed one Monday, where to put the garbage turned into an issue. And we never thought about it before. So despite our modern advances, we still gather each year on the fourth Thursday in November to feast. We celebrate the fact that we have survived, both as Americans who nearly starved to death the first winter we were on the continent, and just in general as humankind. We symbolically brace ourselves for winter, kind of lay in that fat layer, right? Keep nice and warm. But most importantly, we offer thanks. Thanks for food, thanks for shelter, and modern medicine, and whatever pops in your head when mom says you have to name something before anybody gets to eat. And then we watch football games, we put away the leftovers, and we plan our Christmas shopping. The first Thanksgiving I spent with my daughter-in-law's family was much like any other Thanksgiving. At the time I did this, I was single. My son said, "Mom, come with us to Katie's family's house. They do this great big thing. You're more than welcome." And the house was full of family and friends. Somebody, as always, was fretting over the gravy, and we were waiting on that last relative to arrive so we could all sit down and eat. The football game of the day was on in the TV in the family room, and the living room and screen porch had been set up with folding tables and whatever extra dishes and chairs that could be rounded up so everybody had a place to sit and enjoy their meal. A blessing was offered, and for a short time, all you heard was the clinking of silverware on plates and the compliments on the food murmured between bites. And after dinner, we did what everybody does. We lolled around for a while and went, "Oh, I had so much to eat," and waited for there to be room to eat pie. But after pie, the planning started. Sales flyers came out. Lists were created. Mom, the daughters, the aunts, the cousins. This family traditionally stayed up all night after Thanksgiving. They loaded up in Dad's minibus that he usually used for his catering business, and he drove them from store to store. The itinerary was plotted to maximize getting to each store as soon as it opened. Target at 8 p.m., Best Buy at 10 p.m., the mall at midnight, and so on. And they would stay out all night, shopping into the early morning hours before getting breakfast at Denny's and then coming home to sleep most of the next day, of Friday. And I saw a meme this year that summed that up perfectly. And it said, Black Friday, because only in America do people trample each other for sales exactly one day after being thankful for what they already have. And within this pithy little aphorism is the key to why we do this. It's because we're being thankful. And thankfulness is actually kind of a temporary thing. It comes and goes like a little bluebird of awareness. Being thankful will not prevent us from trying to keep up with the Joneses. Being thankful generally will not help us rise above the sea of consumerism or rid us of the need to own the next big thing. I am thankful for the garbage truck that comes every Monday without fail, but that doesn't seem to change my habit about creating the garbage. So what are we missing? I say we're missing gratitude. Gratitude is generally more encompassing and more durable than just thankfulness. Pioneering gratitude researchers, there's Dr. Robert Emmons and Dr. Michael McCullough, both from the University of California, one in Davis and one in San Diego, have an actual working definition of gratitude, and they consider it a two-part experience. First, it's the recognition that something good has come your way, and part two is the realization that someone or something, including nature or a divine entity, is responsible, at least in part, for that good thing or experience. And maybe I shouldn't have been surprised, but there's a huge body of research just on gratitude. The impact of gratitude on anyone's person's life can be amazing. One article I read referred to the practice of gratitude as magical therapy. And I'm pretty sure that article was not peer-reviewed. People who are able to cultivate gratitude tend to be healthier physically. They tend to choose more nutritious foods. They are more likely to exercise and avoid risky behaviors. They are also more likely to seek help for health concerns. And we know that catching health issues early almost always leads to better outcomes. Grateful people are more optimistic, which has also been shown to improve outcomes after medical procedures. A practice of gratitude makes you healthier mentally as well. If you build a practice of noticing good things in your life on a daily basis, it builds on positive emotions and brings about higher levels of joy and contentment. Gratitude has been identified as an essential component to recovering from trauma. Dr. Emmons' research noted, and I'll quote, "Many survivors of the Holocaust, when asked to tell their stories, remember most strongly the feelings of gratitude for food, shelter, or clothing that was offered to them. This sense of thankfulness for the small blessings helped them maintain their humanity despite experiencing horrific tragedy." And recent MRI studies have mapped the gratitude circuitry in your brain, which activates a sense of reward, fairness, and decision making, all aspects that help facilitate survival. Feelings of gratefulness also light up the feel-good neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin, two of my good friends, which can also offset stress hormones like cortisol, not my good friend. And in a study of adults in the United Kingdom who had sleep disorders, those who spent time thinking about what they were grateful for before going to bed reported they fell asleep faster and tended to stay asleep for longer. They literally just had them think about something that they were grateful or thankful for as part of their nighttime routine. How do I get in on all these goodies, you may be asking yourself? So what I'd like to do today is share a couple ways to increase your gratitude just for November and beyond. Many research and mental health practitioners encourage people to keep a gratitude journal. The journal itself can be as plain or as fancy as you wish. You can go buy a nice blank book from the bookstore. You can pick up a spiral-bound notebook off of your desk. If you're techie, you can pick up your phone, use the Notes app if you're an Apple user. My husband uses the Notes app for all kinds of things. I can't stand it. It's there. The key is to make it a daily habit, jotting down the who and the what that you're grateful for each day. David Allen, who's the editorial director for CNN, this is a weird combination. He's the editorial director for CNN Travel, Style, Science, and Wellness. I guess those things all go together. He wrote in a column about his own completely unscientific experiment. He has kept a gratitude journal for nearly 2 years now. And after the first year, he took the time to total up all of his mentions in his gratitude journal. And he wrote, "My wife and children, predictably, were at the top, reminding me not to take them for granted. But I was surprised to see that coworkers at CNN, neighbors, and a city park all ranked highly. It was fun to play with the data. When I broke it down by category, family was a clear winner for me, followed by places, with coffee shops being the biggest subcategory. I don't know if I'm surprised. The guy's a writer. I would think he would spend a lot of pleasant time in coffee shops, but..." He also noted that Star Wars beat out both beer and books. And he noted all of it is getting me closer to understanding and remembering what I'm most grateful for. I think maybe that's why he's in the science and wellness, because he took the wellness and he ran the data on it. I never would have thought about that. Once upon a time, I received as a gift, it was a 5-year journal. I thought this was crazy. Each calendar day was a page, and it had 5 separate entries on it. So you worked your way through the book, front to back, and you did that 5 times. So the second year, you wrote each day in the second entry on the page. But it was interesting after the first year, because the next time it came around to say March 11th, I saw what I had written the previous March 11th. So it was like almost a little reminder. And I'll admit there were some entries that were not very enlightening. One of them was such, ugh, more rain today. But I had approached this more as a diary than a gratitude journal. I can certainly see where this kind of format, brief but daily, would lend to an excellent practice. And you can still buy these books. This wasn't like a New York bestseller. It came and went. Amazon's got them. Walmart sells them online. Line-a-day entries or 5-year journals. Some people sell a set of 5 books, and they come in this nice little sleeve. And here's one, which to me, I kind of like going back and looking at the previous years. on that one. Another method to build gratitude is just to say thank you. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But how often do we go about our day and we don't acknowledge the things or people that we really do appreciate? Make an effort to say thank you more often and be sincere. Saying thank you to your partner can help build and maintain feelings of intimacy and trust. I said thanks to my husband just the other day for emptying the dishwasher, which in our house is a common area task. If you walk up, the dishwasher's been run, and they're clean, put the dishes away. My stepson turned 18 2 weeks ago. He's now an adult. He gets to empty the dishwasher too. So I was sitting at the computer. My husband went to empty the dishwasher, and I said, thanks, honey, for emptying the dishwasher. He said, you don't have to thank me. I live here. I know how to empty the dishwasher. We all empty the dishwasher. And I said, I know, but I appreciate the fact that you do it. And as Jimmy Buffett said, the right word at the right time may get me a little hug. It's a difference between lightning and a harmless lightning bug. Sending letters or emails of thanks is also worth doing if you do it regularly. If you find yourself sitting on the couch doom scrolling with your phone, break that unhealthy cycle. Send a thankful text to someone or post a good vibes message on your friend's Facebook page. And even thanking yourself counts in this exercise. Remind yourself of the good that you did today, whether it was skipping the cookies in the break room, getting your walk in, or maybe you just survived another day. Maybe you have lived to fight once again when morning comes. A third way to increase your gratitude is to pay attention. And this comes in several forms. Many researchers have actually noted a difference in the kind of language that grateful people use. And this linguistic style focuses on good things that others have done on your behalf and uses terms that reflects that awareness of blessings, fortune, and abundance. So making a conscious effort to speak differently can affect your relationship with gratitude. Actually saying the words grateful, thankful, appreciate, appreciative, etc., and using them in daily conversation can improve your mindset towards gratitude. And saying thank you kind of overlaps with this. That's saying your appreciation. Being aware of your senses, the interactions of touch, vision, smell, taste, and hearing with the world around you can also foster a sense of gratitude. And I love that most of these don't cost us anything. It's a mindset. The human body that you occupy is amazing, even if it's not perfect, and none of our bodies are. And that is something to be continually grateful for. Being aware of your emotions can increase your gratitude as well. Try to notice the moments that you feel happy or especially thankful. Stop what you're doing for a second and focus on that physical sensation of happiness or gratitude. And pay attention to the thoughts in your mind when those feelings occur. You can then later capture the moment in your journal, or you can use that memory to help you trigger feelings of gratitude when you have one of those less than gracious days that we all have. Paying attention, saying thank you, and journaling are only 3 ways that you can build your own gratitude jar. There is a ton of stuff. Go ahead, Google. You'll be overwhelmed. You can also create a happiness jar. And I found this was like a random note on a random article, like at the last minute. A happiness jar came from the book Eat, Love, Pray. I don't remember the author's name right now. But you write down on a small piece of paper the good thing that happened to you that day, and you put it in the jar. And then at some point, New Year's Day, whatever you need, you pull them out and you read them all. And it's a reminder of all the good things that have happened in your life. It's a way to foster gratitude. Or you can dip into the jar now and then and pull it out. If you're having a tough day and you need that little gratitude booster. I had never heard of this before. There's a whole Pinterest page devoted to nothing but the happiness jars people have created. It's crazy. I'm sure the author had no idea that this was going to spawn this whole little tiny cottage industry of how to build a happiness jar. But I think when I get home this afternoon, especially because it's raining and I can't go outside to paint, we're going to build a happiness jar. And I think we'll use Thanksgiving as the day to shake that out next year. New Year's for us is crazy. Everybody's trying to do that new thing and the year, start the new year. We're going to do it at Thanksgiving. So Ask me next Thanksgiving how that experiment went. It's completely unscientific. So in the end, there are all kinds of articles, blogs, there's scientific research papers, and of course Pinterest lists to help give you ideas. When you start reading about gratefulness and gratitude and thankfulness and other positive practices, I promise you will find more information than you can possibly use at once. The similarity I've noticed, though, across all of these practices is that it's a practice of mindfulness. And for a lot of us, we're more familiar with a practice of mindfulness than of gratitude. Writing in your journal requires you to be present and aware of your feelings, and it's also a commitment to a routine because this works best if you do it every day. Saying thank you, being aware of your body and your thoughts as you experience life, requires you to be here and now and aware. And many of the benefits that we associate with mindfulness are the same, exact same as those of having an attitude of gratitude. Less stress, clearer mind, better health, more happiness and joy, improved relationships, increased resilience when things do go bad. If you're already practicing mindfulness, just try incorporating a few of these specific gratitude practices and see if that enhances your mindfulness practice. Pro tip, it probably will. So Thanksgiving to me, it's a holiday to encourage us to cultivate gratitude, to encourage us to continue to be mindful of what we have and why we have it, and how everything we do and get is not necessarily just because we worked hard. Being thankful is good, but gratitude requires us to acknowledge that element at work outside of ourselves. You can call it divine intervention, natural selection, you're favored by the goddess, however you want to look at it. We should not be reducing gratitude down to a day of thanks and leaving it at that. While Thanksgiving may be one of the most chill holidays, on the surface at least, it gives us an opportunity to check in with our gratitude practices. Thanksgiving is also a great day to start a new practice or two. So going forward, let us pass the gravy, enjoy the pumpkin pie, give thanks freely, and practice gratitude daily.